Hey Pisces, welcome to your June reading. I am battling the wind today. I'm recording outside because I just have nowhere to do it inside at the moment. Which means I'm dealing with the wind, which means this backdrop is moving all over the place, hair and face. I'm having to be innovative right now, and I'm using tumblers, tumble crystals as paperweights to keep the cards down in the hopes that I can do these readings with minimal worries of things flying away. So my hair may get in my face and this will happen. Hopefully it's not too distracting for you, but I'm working with it. So let me jump right in. You're my first reading of the day. I have the rest of the water signs. I did Cancer yesterday. That one. And so you're my first one of today. I just need to remember to put tumbles down, so it might take me a little bit longer than usual just to shuffle these, as I have to put a crystal on top of every single one, because if I lose a card I will be distraught. That's how much they mean to me. I'm using 3 decks. I'm using the Practical Magic Oracle, and then I'm using, I might be able to use one for 2. These are the Solitary Witch Oracle by Lucy Cavendish, which if you follow me you will know that everything Lucy Cavendish seems to really resonate with me. So I'm loving this. And then the third deck is my tarot deck. It's a new deck. It was a nice little story. A nice surprise. Oh, that one needs you apparently. I ordered a deck for my mum. And it basically, the imagery was the deck that I wanted for my mom. Like, I kind of was like, yeah, that really suits what I feel like she needs right now. So I ordered it, and then this deck came. So basically the name of the deck is this deck that they titled. They just put the wrong picture and imagery with the actual right deck. But yeah, I opened this up and I was like, these are awesome. These are my cards. So yeah, I got a nice little deck. Which I just normally wouldn't even like look at these cards, to be honest. Like, it's not my usual things I'm drawn to, and I think I would have just passed them by if it was on the shelf. Like, I don't know. It's just not something I would go to. This is the deck. And then yeah, just the feel of him in my hands, I was just like, wow, like it's meant to be kind of moment, which I love having those. I don't have them as often as I'd like to anymore, so that kind of filled me with the magical spirit that I crave when I've been a little bit out of alignment for a long time. So I'm loving that. Right, let's jump right in, Pisces. Interesting. So you have Honor Your Grief and Her Herb Garden. Interesting. I would say that you may be going through a time where you're allowing the outside influences to affect you and your own garden. Just 2 seconds. Yes, Bergs, what's up? Okay, go get wipes and let Silver help you. Okay? I gave them watermelon. It's probably a bad idea before I started recording. Yeah, it's kind of as though outside influences may be affecting your mental health during this time. It's kind of like your barriers, your shield is kind of weakened. This can be from suppressing your own feelings in regards to things. I feel like you have a lot of grief built up inside you, Pisces, and I don't actually feel like this is just from like right now. I feel like this is something that has been again pushed down, pushed back, as though you haven't really been facing what you're feeling. You've kind of been I guess setting it aside is how this is making me feel. And I feel like, again, that this is festering inside you, and if you don't honor yourself and honor how you feel in losing people, and this could even just be as in friendships drifting away, family, going about their own business, these things do affect us, and we rationalize how we're feeling, or irrational sometimes, with, oh, they're just going about their lives, it doesn't matter, like, or I'm overreacting, and you put all these things of like justifying more the external stuff rather than your internal things, and I feel like this is dishonoring yourself during this time. Now, her garden, this card represents, you know, tending to your own garden, really. I would say that there's a lot there to take care of, and that you should make sure that other people are not influencing, again, how your world is looking if it's not in alignment with who you are. I feel like sometimes you might, as I'm saying this, it's like it's coming to me like a feeling of kind of putting the needs of other people before yourself. So this can even be in relationships. You may even still be, I have this sense of like being in a new relationship but still allowing the energies of past relationships to kind of impact this new, because you're so affected by the external of other people's opinions or what happened to you there and then, that the garden that you're living in currently, because you know we always have to be tending to our own self. When we don't, it grows weeds. It allows vermin to get in, because you don't have the walls up enough to protect you from outside enemies, that kind of vibe. I know I'm using a lot of analogies right now, but this is how it's flowing to me. It's like when you're tending to your own garden, your defenses are up. You are free to allow visitors and love to kind of flow through you, yet you're protected from dangers. And at the moment, I feel actually as though it's the opposite, and what we're wanting is this desired. And what's affecting that, again, it's this level of kind of grief of something you've lost or that you're losing. And again, this could be a part of yourself as well. When we are going through transitions and changes, it is natural and normal to kind of go through a grieving process, and not like most of us don't realize that this is something that's happening. For example, if you move home, we grieve the house that we had or the home we had, even if what we want is what we have now. You still have memories and good times, or maybe people and moments, and you know, that room made me feel so safe and secure because you had times where it protected you from things in your life. So it's okay and natural to grieve things that have provided that level of security for us previously, because there's always good things in something, even if it gets to the point of it being toxic. Does not mean that there was not good from that experience too. And then that would be here when I'm feeling that this could be a potential of a relationship went toxic. A bird very nearly just flew in here, so I feel like that's a good sign of like being innocent in this feeling of vulnerability, as though you need to feel this. It's okay, it's natural. I feel very much needing to reassure you that you need to feel this. And then we just had a kookaburra almost do the same thing as well. So I definitely feel like there's this level of needing to focus and see and acknowledge how you are feeling during this time. Interesting. I would say symbolism of birds. If I don't remember to post something like this in the description below, which I don't think I will because I know what I'm like, please comment below if you would like to know the symbolism of those birds, and I will do some research for you if you don't feel like doing it for yourself. Seven of Wands is our first card. I definitely feel like you feel very much like you're, again, defensive, and that your guard is up, as though, and there could be this potential here, because I touched on it before, of outside opinions and gossip affecting you. And I feel as though you're in a very good position to defend it. You're in a great place to counteract these, as long as you acknowledge what's happening. I do feel like there's influences out there that you shouldn't be allowing access to your energy. And again, you are in a place where you can, but it comes with acknowledging and realizing that you have the advantage here. And Pisces, I know damn well that you can and you have the ability to do that. But it does come with that level of self-awareness. Next we have the Eight of Wands. So that's really good because we go from the Seven of Wands to the Eight of Wands. I always find the progression, and actually you've got a few of the same kind of suits in the column, or at least these first two columns, which I'm liking. Both of these columns come under those two keywords. I feel as though all of this is like one situation or issue. This Eight of Wands is giving me, again, I'm actually getting who are your allies, who are the people you want in your life, because I feel like they are the ones that will help you kind of get your mind straight. I feel as though, for example, as women, naturally groups of women will come together, discuss their problems, they'll get it all out, say everything, and then they'll go through a certain process, which can be, first off, using humor and like drama is where we're like, oh, that, like, you overanalyze something to the point and make it funny, like, oh, what a dickhead, and all that kind of banter, to then be more productive and help come up with solutions or really get your feelings out. Now, a lot of men don't have this dynamic, and I can feel that there's this kind of, for me, I can see both sides of the fence of this being something that can be really great for you, regardless of gender, is to go through a process like that with things external from yourself. I just feel this community spirit with this Eight of Wands, which it's not traditional meaning, but this is what it's giving me for you. Definitely to pay attention to things that, again, are in alignment with yourself and not pay attention to things that no longer serve you. I would say as well, this can be, again, letting go of the past and releasing that. If it doesn't do you good now, don't keep it around. Why are you keeping it around, honestly? And this goes with feelings. When we and not suppressing them, but it's acknowledging it's there and releasing it in a way that really truly you process it. For example, you go, wow, yes, I am being very defensive with the people in my life. Why am I doing that? Okay, this situation's kind of triggering. I was cheated on before. It's triggering that because I do trust this person, but I trusted that person and they did this to me. You are breaking these patterns. You're breaking that coding inside you by acknowledging that the way you're treating the person you're with now is based on somebody else's actions and not the actions of that person. And that is something you should not be doing, but we naturally do. So don't beat yourself up about it. That doesn't break coding. Beating yourself up about it actually keeps the coding there and applies extra coding. It applies that you're not good enough, that you do this to people, and all those self-sacrificing, self-sabotaging things you're doing is harmful to you, and you are not going to be better by doing that. We acknowledge, we release, we fix that coding, we rewrite that coding. We make it as in, is this person remotely like that person? There may be similarities, but are those similarities the good things that you saw in someone? If so, that's because that's what you're attracted to. But the bad stuff, this person has not showcased that. They don't have that in that person because that person's not that person. And when we have been through trauma, especially when sometimes we are repeating cycles, but again, they differ each time, and it's learning really what we're supposed to be doing through this growth is acknowledging and learning something about ourselves in that. But we don't do that naturally as humans these days. We externalize it and make it somebody else's problem. That hurts us. So bear that in mind. I don't know why I went on that tangent. It's obviously relevant. Anyway, Queen of Pentacles is next. This column feels much more, it's like, I feel as though by going through this process, like I said, with this recoding, learning new ways and learning a lot about yourself is going to, it's like, I want to say fix things, which is weird because, again, it's not about fixing something, but I just feel as though you'll be much more content and more grateful for what you do have, because I feel as though you have what you want and what you're desiring deep down, but again, be aware of the self-sabotaging, and this comes in alignment with tending to your garden. Now, the Queen of Pentacles, she generally has been tending to her garden, and it's flourishing. She's confident, she's like attracting all that she needs, all that she and she knows how to do that kind of thing. This is how I'm kind of reading it for you. I feel like you know the works, and you can be very good at, again, that self-awareness that I was talking about. And here I feel like for you, once you are self-aware, once you acknowledge these things about yourself, you will quickly be quick to success. And I feel like you actually are a very fast learner, like in anything that you take up, but you never fully, and it's weird because Pisces is a very self-aware sign, but I feel like being self-aware and actually applying that to your healing and to your life is totally different scenario. And I feel like a lot of Pisces don't, because it is hard, and because being so self-aware is actually very hard and very, in some ways, mentally exhausting, and it just makes us kind of shine lights on the things about ourselves that we don't like, and that can either shut you down or it can inspire self-improvement. And I feel as though for you it's been a lot more shut down. Obviously this is a collective reading and I'm going based on the energy I'm reading here. This is not saying that all Pisces are like this, just thought I'd put that disclaimer in there. But obviously relate this to your situation as it comes through. I would say that you definitely have all that you need. This next card is giving me more of having everything you need, but again, there's this level of gratitude. If we are not holding ourselves, we often are missing the bigger picture of our own now, of the present space that we're in. We're always looking forward instead of looking at what we do have. And sometimes, again, when I say that, it's like you have what you desire. If you think, what do I want in life? So I'm going to use an example connected with the analogies I've been using this far with relationships. It's like, I just want to be with somebody who I can grow old with. Okay, so you're in a relationship and this person is trustworthy, they're loving, you have something great and the potential for it to last. But what's in the way? Potentially yourself, the way you think, the way, and again, no self-sabotaging. This is not saying you're the issue. I'm using an example here. I just need to make sure these cards are not going to blow away. And so we will focus on what's wrong and not really, sometimes again, when we're not allowing ourselves to actually look at the wound and instead just acknowledge there's a wound, we can then blame, it filters into our relationship where you'll start thinking, oh, I'm just not happy, maybe this person's not the right person for me, because you don't know how to fix it, because again, you're not truly acknowledging what's causing the wound, you're just acknowledging that there is one and there's an issue here. So, and you kind of would go through all the trials, and I know I've been there. I kind of process things similarly sometimes, specifically if I'm feeling confused. Oh wow, the kids are going to love seeing that, but I don't think it's going to come back. Sales, Autumn, come see this plane. Rune. Sorry, there's a big army plane just going across the sky. If it comes close, there. If it comes close, it might make a lot of noise. Sorry for the interruptions, Pisces. I am recording still, so it should come back. So wait to see if it comes back. I'm going to keep talking to the video. Anyway, guys, feel your emotions. Definitely what I've just been saying. This is Lady of the Water. So she is you as well in a sign. And we have the Crone in Winter paired with this. The Crone in Winter has been coming up a lot, and I did read the description for this yesterday. I don't typically read from descriptions. I like to feel the cards and what they're giving me. I kind of actually use cards as an extension of my intuition in a way that very often not the traditional meanings of the cards. That's how I like to read. I will go into that in a moment. I'm just being drawn to this, feel your emotions. Again, it's like you're not really allowing yourself to. I feel this level of suppressing and keeping it in. I do think this is something for you to explore at the moment. You literally have that in two spaces. There's something that you're not allowing yourself to feel that you may be suppressing. This could be a very emotional time for you, Pisces, as well. But this being you in a card, it's like acknowledging that, again, this is energy that you can work in. It should be kind of home territory. So if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable and wiggly, it could be because you're not actually living your true essence as well. You're trying to, again, put on the mask. And I feel as though this is something, Pisces, that maybe I've said to people I've done personal readings who are Pisces about wearing a mask. It's like not really be feeling comfortable being an emotional body. You're a water sign. You're supposed to have this level of sensitivity, and that's what people love about you. And you'll find that actually people that are close enough to actually get a touch of this vulnerable side, you'll find that they actually fell for you for that very reason, because it's inspiring when someone is so in touch with their emotions. So be aware of that is actually potentially one of your best assets anyway, and it'll be something that you see as a weakness, and that is very often the case with all humans. I don't think it's going to come back, guys, but if you want to keep an eye out, it might do. The Crone in Winter then. So this is about being content and being in a space where you're not reacting, you are just being who you are, and allowing others to be who they are. Realizing that the way that you feel and think of things is going to be different to somebody else. So this card could very much mean, look, hey, other people might not understand the way that you're being, and they may be disagreeing with that, but that's because they're not you, and you need to be content and confident with who you are and why you feel the way you feel, because again, we've all been through different life experiences, and this crone is wise enough to know that she is who she is and that they are who they are. I hope that makes sense. Oh, we got 2 cards in this position. It's very difficult working with tumbles and oh, look at that. So pretty. I can't remember what that one is. It might be Serpentine. 10 of Wands and the Knight of Cups. So basically the hard times are ending. I do feel like this is like a moment for you to really clock in with yourself, check in, and kind of see something. I just keep feeling like I'm on the edge of something here. It's like by acknowledging something, giving something a little bit of attention, it's like putting all the harder times behind you. It's like realizing, like having an epiphany, like, oh my god, yes, I am doing that. Why did I not see that? That kind of thought process here. Paired with the Knight of Cups is really great. It's kind of like this is your journey to self-healing. This is your journey of really being, again, your authentic self. And it's realizing that you have built up, it's kind of like your life is built up to where it is today because of the person you are. You build it up to the space where it's already fully nourishing, flourishing, to the point that there's nothing there that serves you anymore. You can't take that any further, so you must go and explore. I would say, again, this is like who you are, who you have sort of, from everything you've been with, you've sort of, been crafted into this position you're in today. It's going to serve you to kind of, and I want to say like better yourself, and I don't feel like you need to improve, but what I mean is like kind of really coming to this, again, this a place of awareness that can take you to the next level. Definitely a transition in time, but again, it puts all the really tough, difficult stuff behind you, and I feel like this is emotions, because I feel like when it's all clogged up and blocked, we're carrying all these burdens on our shoulders, and I feel like this is what you've done. You've carried your burdens when you don't need to do that anymore. You can lay them down in the land where you've been and then walk freely into the future, and that's what I feel here. And there's a lot of emotional baggage that you don't need to be carrying with you anymore. Wind is definitely picking up. This is what I was expecting to be happening for the whole thing. This is leading to the King of Swords. So again, we are progressing as well. 10, Knight, King. I'm loving this. And we actually have one of each as well. Wands, Cups, and Swords. Fuck. Sorry, guys. My language, I've lost a card. I'll have to go look for that in a moment. Damn it. I thought I was doing so well. And this King of Swords. Let's have a look what we got here. I definitely feel as though you can start being more in control of your life. I feel like you like being in control, and maybe this feeling of not being in control for some time has made you feel a little bit uneasy, maybe, because I just keep getting this feeling of things not being the way that you feel comfortable. It's like feeling really uncomfortable. I don't know, it might not be making sense, because I just get this wiggly kind of discomfort coming from you. I'm going to start picking cards up as we go. I am feeling like feeling one with your emotions is key here. You need something about tapping into your emotions. I really cannot express that enough. Tap into your emotions and shine your light on them. But it does feel like very much like regaining that control that you desire in order to take action in your day-to-day life. And I feel like you've been sat on the back burner as well with that 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands even. I get this sense of, again, you basically carrying an emotional load and burden that's prevented you from taking action where you need it. What do we have over here? So our keywords over here, we have embody forgiveness. Well, there we go. Crown of Stars and Thorns. And then we have the milk of the mother flows. Oh, interesting. So definitely feeling again. I mean that one, the milk of the mother flows. It's like being our a basic natural instinct and nurturing ourselves. And with this embody forgiveness, realizing that we have this big thing where we're telling everyone we need to forgive. You have to forgive in order to heal. Now the thing is, like, you don't necessarily have to forgive others in order to heal. You're going to heal anyway. But you do have to have this level of understanding yourself and forgiving yourself, because I feel like that's the worst thing that we're dealing with these days, is this level of self-judgment that keeps us in this space. Oh my god, it's getting so windy. Keeps us in this space of self-sabotage, because if we are blaming ourselves for everything, we have this negative internal monologue that really does not serve us in any positive way. It's a time to start nurturing ourselves. Again, be the mother that you crave during this time. And that doesn't, it's regardless of gender. When we think of what a mother's embodiment is supposed to be, it's supposed to be someone who supports and nurtures and loves us unconditionally. And that's exactly the type of mothering you should be giving yourself. Again, regardless of gender. You do not need to be a female to be able to be nurturing and loving. We have both masculine and feminine within us, and it should be balanced. You should be caring for yourself. Crown of Stars and Thorns. This is kind of giving me shadow work kind of vibes as well. It's about realizing that we're not all flowers and roses. We have thorns, and these are things that we built in as levels of protection. And I feel like actually this is a very positive thing that we need to realize about ourselves when we are going through the shadow work. Like, why did I do that? I did that because I needed to protect myself during that time. Do I need that protection anymore? No, I don't. I'm not living in that same situation. I'm not in that fight and flight. And this is the type of forgiveness I want you to kind of process through yourself, is realizing that things you had to feel and had to suppress during that time, it was a fight and flight response, but you don't need to keep living in that anymore. And I definitely feel that you are in a safer space now to go through this work. Definitely a time to nurture it. So with that, I would say forgive yourself. You've done nothing wrong. If I was to use my Archangel Michael cards, that would be what would be in this position. Forgive yourself. You've done nothing wrong. Now we have the Devil card, this first one. So the Devil card upright, what we're going to say, let's drop any of those bad habits, get rid of those toxic people. We don't need them in our lives. Now this can be literally being that we are giving into our basic instincts rather than actually processing things. We are naturally, for example, I can't think of the word, it's not coming to my brain. It's like detaching, dissociating, I think is what I was looking for. And we start doing things like we feel sad, so we're going to eat some chocolate, or I'm going to go shopping because that makes me feel good. And you're doing things that will make you feel good that are not really helping again with the issue. They are just like band-aiding things. So be aware of doing that. Definitely could be a need to, again, pay attention to bad habits that you have naturally that are impacting your life today. And again, people, this is Capricorn energy. It could be working too hard. It could be overthinking, so your brain is working too hard too. And an imbalance there. Maybe being seduced onto the side of self-soothing rather than self-healing. And this is the Lovers in reverse actually next. So this could be impacting your relationships with people and connections with people. I kind of feel as though it's very much a connection to yourself, though. I just feel this deeply that you need to heal your relationship with yourself. And I feel like that actually will impact and does impact your relationships with people today. I would say other things to look at is your relationships with your parents, specifically your mother, especially in this column. It can be that, your mother is no longer around, or that she is like, I'm getting this kind of like being too old to be the mother that you need during this time as well for some of you. And so sometimes we need to, it's like finding that same kind of nurture elsewhere. And the thing is, you have that in you already. It's just healing that mother-child bond for yourself. And I think every single person goes through this at some stage in their life. And I feel like this could be impacting your life today. And you may not even realize that you have mummy issues, as much as I'm saying mummy issues. But you may not even realize that you have these issues, because some of us don't. Because again, my childhood was fine, it was okay. But actually when you look in there may be times where you felt that you needed a mother's support and she wasn't there in the way that you needed her to be. and then that is impacting who you are today. That's natural, it's normal, and nothing really traumatic has to happen for that bond, that programming and coding to fall into place into you. And it does not mean that you are broken or wrong. It just means that there's something there that needs your attention for you to process, an emotion that probably is still with you today. So I hope that makes sense, Pisces. If you have any questions, please comment below. I know I had a few distractions through this video that may have made my explaining a little bit off, so feel free to ask questions and I'll go into that more for you. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next month, guys. Thank you so much.